Hey guys, welcome to Red50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So today I want to review the 10-speed transmission in my 2019 Mustang GT. I want to give my personal thoughts and address some of the pros and cons of the 10-speed transmission in my 2019 Mustang GT. Most reviews will have you believe the 10-speed transmission is the holy grail of the transmission, and the best thing ever built. While that is true for the most part, I want to kind of give an owner's perspective. I've had my 2019 Mustang GT for about a year or so, and I've experienced a couple issues already that we will address later in the video. So in this video, we will give you an overview of the 10-speed transmission, some pros and cons of experience having owned the car for about a year, and my overall thoughts on the 10-speed transmission. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright, so if you didn't know, the 10-speed transmission is actually co-developed with GM. This transmission can be found in Camaro and even the GM trucks. Although the unit is the same, GM and Ford tune their transmissions independently. It is also commonly referred to as the 10R80 transmission, which is the code name for the transmission. The 10-speed transmission, or the 10R80, has been in the Mustang since the 2018 model year. You can get the 10-speed transmission with the Ecoboost and GT models. Previously, these models have had 6-speed automatic transmission. It's kind of crazy to think that 6-speed autos just became the standard thing not too long ago, and now with all these technology advancement, we have all these 8, 9, and 10-speed transmissions all over the place now. Now you may be asking, why would you want to have so many gears when 6-speed automatic transmissions were doing just fine? Well, it actually helps squeeze out every single bit of miles per gallon, especially on the highway as your RPM sit very low, and the fact that the gears are stacked so close together, it keeps the car in the power bin after each shift if you're trying to have some fun. Also, under normal driving circumstances, it will skip gears when starting from standstill. So my 2019 Mustang GT, if I'm light with the throttle, it will go from first to third gear, then from third to fifth gear, and then sixth gear. So it completely skips out the second and fourth gear under light throttle, especially in normal mode. If I'm in sport mode, it will still go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sequence, which I'm sure helps with the fuel economy because you're skipping gears, keeping the RPMs lower. Okay, so let's talk about the pros of having the 10-speed transmission in my 2019 Mustang GT. Power has to be one of the biggest reasons. The 2019 Mustang GT will do 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds with the automatic transmission and 4.4 seconds with the MT82 manual transmission. That is a half second quicker for the exact same car. Similar differences actually carry over to the quarter miles time as well. 10-speed transmission Mustang GT will do it in about 12 seconds, while the manual equipped MT82 Mustang GT will do about 12.4 to 12.5 seconds. Now, I know 0.5 second may not sound as much, but given that it's the exact same car, it's a huge difference for just being the transmission, the only difference being the transmission. Now, as we know that the 5.0 likes to make power up top, so as soon as you cross 3,500 or 4,000 RPM, all the freedom bald eagles come out to play. The 10-speed transmission actually does a really great job to keep the Gen 3 Coyote motor in its power band. After each shift when you floor it, the car stays in power band because the gears are stacked so close to each other. This, combined with the fact that the shifts on this 10R80 transmission are lightning quick, makes this a great combination for the Mustang GT. Obviously, it's not as fast as a dual clutch transmission, but it is pretty quick for being in a Mustang. Especially if you want to build a drag car, I think 10R80 is the way to go. I've gone to Mexico with 2016 5.0s, full bolt-on with 6-speed manual, and had a couple runs where I've always had 1 to 2 car lengths on him. I'm completely stock, I want to say, being full bolt-on on his car. He has to be making more power than me, if not the same power. But 10-speed transmission is just like magic. Another great thing about it is the pedal shifter response. The response isn't as quick as the computer shifting for you, but it's greatly improved over the old 6-speed automatic transmission where there was enough of a lag to make it annoying to use. The pedal shifter response in the 10-speed transmission is actually pretty quick to have fun, and use it on the back road especially. It's not quick enough to win you any races, but it does a great job adding fun factor back to your automatic Mustang. If you want to race, I would just leave it in Sport Plus mode, let the computer do its thing. As mentioned earlier, having so many gears not only helps with the car's power band, but also improves the fuel economy. Now I know no one is out there buying a Mustang GT for its fuel economy, but I average around 21 to 22 miles per gallon consistently. My drive probably consists of, I want to say, 50-50 split between city and highway, and I do like to have fun with it too, so by no means is being driven gently. On one road trip where I did drive it relatively gently, I got 28 miles per gallon in about 300 miles or so. To me, that's just crazy having 460 horsepower and being able to get 28 miles per gallon on your road trips. I'm coming from a 2006 Mustang GT 4.6 3-valve, which made about 300 horsepower, and the best MPG I ever saw was 23 miles per gallon on a similar road trip. So you can see why I'm so excited about this. I have way more power and better fuel economy. Sure, I mean, why not? I'll take that. Now, unfortunately, there are some downsides to this transmission too. It's not as rosy as people would have you believe. As mentioned earlier, the transmission is tuned independently despite being co-developed with GM. I think that is where some of the problems arise in Ford's tuning of the transmission, at least in the Mustang. The transmission can be really jerky at times and tries to gear hunt. Especially when it's learning your driving habits, I definitely found the 10-speed transmission to be a lot jerky in the beginning, like first 500 miles or so, but it's gotten much better over time. It's just weird. If you leave the car in S or sport mode, it's the smoothest thing ever and shifts lightning quick. But driving in normally, like in normal mode or D settings, especially in traffic, can make the transmission a little bit jerky. I've just accepted as a quirk of this transmission as there are no real shifting issues I experience. Well, not anymore at least. Which brings us to another issue I've had with the transmission. I had to actually take it into the dealer and have it looked at so they can fix it for me. Basically, the transmission would downshift harshly if I was in normal mode or the gear drive setting, and the kickdown would require the drop to be 6th gear or below from the 10th gear. Any other gear would be completely fine if I'm cruising in 9th gear and floor it. Same thing, it would always be smooth. Sport mode, same thing, smooth as butter. But driving in normal or D setting just would result in a harsh downshift, so I had to kind of take it in to the dealership and have them look at it. They actually fixed it by reprogramming the transmission, deleting some of the corrupted files that they found, but nonetheless, it was kind of annoying to deal with it. I do have an in-depth video on the issue and the update if you wanted to check it out. I'll link it up in the description, or you can click the card above. So I think that pretty much covers all the pros and cons of the 10-speed transmission in my 2019 Mustang GT. Obviously, it's not the holy grail as some reviews would have you believe. However, the inconveniences are a minor price to pay for a transmission that is otherwise really smooth and very quick to shift. If you're driving the Mustang how it's supposed to be driven, then you'd have no issue and will love the transmission every bit. Even using pedal shift is really fun in this car due to the improved response time compared to the old 6-speed transmission automatic transmissions. I hope this video was helpful and sheds light on 10-speed transmission from an owner's perspective. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.